Of course, software of this kind can be used to immediately identify and surveil citizens. Their technology works by analyzing the distinct features of every human face before converting those specific features into a string of numbers they call a... Artificial intelligence algorithms measure highly specific facial features from visual imagery, such as the distance between facial features or the exact geometry of the jaw. In total, Clearview says they measure 512 different data points per face before those measurements are compressed and turned into a person's unique. The absolutely horrifying part about this is the way that they built their database. They didn't build it from police records or... They built it by scraping billions of photographs from the internet without the knowledge or approval of... And to be clear, there is almost a 100% chance that your face is in there. An unfathomable number of photos and faces were grabbed by their bots from websites such as Google, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and even Venmo, with those specific 6 companies each issuing cease and desist letters to Clearview AI in an attempt to stop them from building a database. These companies claimed that Clearview's actions were in violation of each of their individual terms of service. As a result, they essentially called their bluff and continued scraping the photos from the... Clearview has grown so large that today is all but guaranteed to be logged in Clearview. In 2019, their database held 3. By October of 2021, the company claimed to have 10 billion logged photos. Today, it appears they have likely surpassed around something like 30 billion photographs, and that number continues to climb. It's metastasized to the point where almost anyone who has shown themselves in a public photograph online, face stored on their servers, but it has been indexed under their face print and is now searchable by their clients, which again remain almost exclusively restricted to government agencies such as the FBI, Department of Homeland Security, and ICE, along with local law enforcement. And following regulatory pressure, the service is not accessible for you. Essentially, they have created an extremely accurate AI-powered reverse image search system specifically for finding other instances of people's faces anywhere they appear. An example of how this could work is, say the FBI or CIA got a photo of you, say they didn't like that you went to that protest, and they wanted to figure out they could easily plug that photograph into the system and immediately be linked to all of your different social media profiles, your LinkedIn, any news articles you've appeared in. They would quickly find your full name, and from there, government databases could find your home address. In February of 2020, a group of hackers successfully broke into Clearview's client list and leaked the entire thing, exposing over 2,200 local law enforcement agencies. The FBI, the Department of Homeland Security, ICE, who themselves has paid Clearview nearly $4 million, steadiest customer, the US Army, the Air Force, and such as Walmart, Best Buy, and Clearview is also known to have former senior CIA officials on its advisory board, and it turns out that Clearview has been distributing free trials of their software to police departments across the US in order to expose them to the power of what... It appears that this was an extremely effective marketing tactic, and it led to hundreds and hundreds of license purchases by these... Often, their jurisdictions were not informed that they were in... As you might have guessed, this facial recognition has become horrifyingly as in technology, found that their matches are typically at least 99.76% accurate, with other tests pushing that accuracy. Their technology has now reached the point where it outperforms the average person's ability to recognize a fellow human face. So what does the implementation of this kind of technology mean for the world? Put simply, it might be the beginning of the end for public. When people can be reliably, accurately identified from any CCTV footage or cell phone video, suddenly protesting and political organizing becomes a much greater risk to those involved, especially if those in power decide to crack down. Cobwebs Technologies was founded in Israel in 2015 by 3 veterans of... 2 of them were former IDF special operatives, and the other was The company claimed that they had created their tools in order to help law enforcement track down criminals and terrorists through the use of OSINT, or open source intelligence. The idea behind this kind of technology, put simply, is that available public information can be used as a tool to provide insight. Cobwebs intentionally used this label to make their intelligence-gathering techniques appear innocent and within the confines of... However, this image would eventually be dismantled by investigative journalists, researchers, and other organizations who dug into exactly what their products were doing. In 2023, Cobwebs was purchased and merged with the company Penlink in a $200 million sale. The products we are about to discuss initially were developed by Cobwebs and are still sold, but now by their success. Tangles is the name of their... Tangles collects and synthesizes information about specific targets from anywhere they appear on the internet. Similar to Clearview's technology, Tangles is also capable of AI-powered facial recognition, which allows investigators to track a target across different platforms and websites. Cobwebs has been used in the past to uncover and track the identities of individuals involved in protests and social movements. In August of 2020, the Department of Homeland Security signed a contract with Cobwebs. Specifically, the tool has been used to identify rioters and protesters involved in both the January 6th Capitol attack and the George Floyd riots. WebLock is an add-on product Penlink also offers alongside. This is a geolocation surveillance system that collects data on users through the methods we discussed earlier in relation to advertising intelligence and the bidding systems that make user location data available for sale on the advertising market. Using this data, WebLock has access to a stream of data from up to 500 million mobile devices worldwide. Even scarier, it's even capable of storing their previous locations, allowing intelligence agencies...
I'm Ben Shapiro. I'm short. I'm gay.
I'm sexist, intolerant, and
self-esteem. She said you should have low self-esteem. When I asked why I was special, she said, kid, you should hate yourself. I remember one time my dad made me feel bad about myself.
Don't exist blind people, except that's wrong. They can see right as far as I can tell.
I think unfair suffering is good. I admit, I am one of them. The Bible is ever written. 1, do not show compassion. 2, do me. 2, 1.
I had a feeling. What the fuck is that? Discord Gooner epidemic? Oh, what happened to you, bro? You fucking fell off, dude.
Confident and powerful.
Has it been pretty hot up in...
I'm pale.
Joga compressão, dona viado. Vem, joga compressão, joga rabito, rabito.
Who's the baddest? Me. Who's the toughest? Me. Who's the man? Me, losers.